What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the D.O.G podcast. As always, I'm Homer. I'm sorry, Drew with OC and German. And today we're going to talk about some football.
Caught some heat last week, Drew.
Yeah, I was called a Homer and very biased, and I don't know what I'm talking about. But
everybody loves
It's all right.
Everybody loves to hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm used to it, dude. 28 years of this.
Dealing with your whole life.
I talk to you like every goddamn day. So
And
me
and Andrew both caught some slack from our comments this weekend, just for defending our own teams.
Yep.
And that's just how it goes, dude. It's the internet, man.
Yeah.
It's fun though.
I was
It's
literally
fun.
being positive about my team after they had just lost a AFC East division.
This was on the
you
Twitter sphere, right?
You would think by some of the stuff I read with OCs going back and forth on Twitter that the Dolphins were already eliminated. Like after that loss to the Bills, it looks like the fan base is like, well, all right, move on to next year, get rid of Tua.
The reactions were not too kind to the Dolphins.
Dude,
No.
It's like literally fans like have been waiting for his downfall just to be like, see, I told you so.
Yeah.
He's not the guy.
When he just tosses it up.
It's just like,
Yeah.
okay, man.
The division's on the line and
Hey.
then just throw it up to Chase Claypool.
He just led the NFL in passing yards, but somehow it's his fault.
Yeah.
I forgot he wasn't on the field for the return punt. I just completely forgot.
And that's
Just be patient.
Chase Claypool, who has been in and out of the lineup because he's been with the practice squad and with the 53-man roster, like rotating in and out. He was supposed to run a sharp out cut, rounds it, ball gets picked. Tyreek Hill, who pulls himself out.
And that's why Chase Claypool has been
Jalen Waddle
traded
didn't
and
play.
released in his career already.
But
yeah.
it's easy to blame the quarterback. So
I know exactly how you feel with Dak Prescott. like the fan base for years have been dragging this dude through the mud, especially last year. I mean, when the season started, they traded for Trey Lance. How many people were legitimately saying Trey Lance is going to start over Dak Prescott?
German.
I did say that.
That-
I did,
yeah,
but
that's why I looked at you in the eyes when I
that
said
was
this.
me. That was me like throwing shit up against the wall. Like I didn't think it was gonna stick.
There was legit,
but it stuck.
There was legit. I mean, analysts on TV, Cowboy haters, and Cowboy fans saying Trey Lance is the future of the Dallas Cowboys. Let him play this season.
And see,
And now no one even remembers that Trey Lance is on the team because everyone now, all Cowboy fans across the board, are saying Dak Prescott should win MVP.
is Trey Lance even active?
No, he's that third quarterback that
Yeah.
if both
the
quarterbacks
emergency guy?
get hurt, he
Yeah.
can play. But he is the only quarterback from his draft to be in the playoffs.
That is true.
Someone posted that. And I was
Trevor
like,
Lawrence did miss out.
But is he really in the playoffs? I mean, he's in if two people get hurt.
That's true. I mean, he's on the roster. He's on the squad. I
No,
mean, he would.
He's technically not on the roster. He's only on the roster if two quarterbacks get hurt. Then they like.
If he's on, he's
they-
like,
then
and
he's
like
the
not
emergency
active.
guy, yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
it would have been the same situation probably in San Francisco. If
I think
he didn't get beat out by Sam Darnold,
Yeah.
but Sam Darnold beat him out, and we all saw that Sam Darnold's not that great either. I mean, when you're losing against the twos from
I think
Los Angeles?
I think he is better than Sam Darnold. I think they just want to dump his contract, get rid of him before they got to pay him. So.
they were just over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, why are we talking about Trey Lance? No one cares.
You brought him up. The Cowboy stuff.
No, we were talking about fan bases.
Yeah,
being
so the
complete
fan
garbage.
base is
Yeah.
going after you
Yes.
guys, and then, I mean, the whole deal with Miami. I mean, a lot of people are making it seem like you guys had already lost. I mean, the way they were reacting, it might as well have been another playoff game. But I mean, you go and you play against a Kansas City Chiefs team that you lost to once, was close. It was only 7 points, right? You guys had chances to win, what I felt like. And then, like we've always said, it's hard to beat a team twice.
Yeah, so
Right?
this is my where I sat there and I defended. Of course, they're already looking at the other side of the spectrum, trying to look for quarterbacks to draft already. That's how
No.
pissed off half the fan base
Penix?
is. Yeah.
One lefty for another
Yeah.
lefty.
But I was sitting there like, the Chiefs. I looked it up. This was Mahomes' worst season record-wise at home this year. He went 4-4.
Mm-hmm.
Though they had a ninth game, but that was the one in Germany, so it doesn't count as a home game.
Mm-hmm.
The last 4 games at home, he's only gone 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
And then against playoff game or playoff teams, right? Because the big thing is Miami can't beat any good teams besides Dallas, but that was a home game for them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, KC at home didn't beat any playoff teams. They lost to the Lions, they lost to the Eagles, and they lost to the Bills. So it's like they're on the same boat, you know.
Does the weather worry you at all?
No.
Like the 12 degrees or whatever?
It's 0 degrees. It worries me.
It worries you?
Yes.
No, if Miami throws the ball or tries to come out slinging it, yes, it will worry me. But if they did what gave them the lead against Buffalo in the first half, which was run the ball, and then somehow got away from it in the second half, then I'm gonna be worried.
And
but
that was my biggest thing. I felt like Achan was playing really well
Yeah,
that first half, and
he
then
was-
he just went away from the run.
yeah, they were gaining like 6-7 yards a carry.
Yeah. And then you guys are gonna have Raheem right this week. Does it look like he's gonna go?
He's game time decision, so
And he's got to go, right? I think you would think so.
might, but
Got to put it all on the line.
I don't know.
Then you have Waddle too. Is he gonna be healthy this week?
He's also like coming down to game time. Like they were limited in practice these past 2 days, so they don't know.
And see, and that's the only thing I think I told you is the only thing that kind of worries me about Miami is the injuries.
Yeah,
And the injury bug hit them late, like those last 2 weeks when
When you're
Chubb,
praying,
Phillips
when you're
goes
praying
down.
that no one gets hurt.
there was already a theory going around on Twitter talking
Mm-hmm.
about how as soon as the camera showed up, guys started going down like flies.
on the Hard Knocks.
Oh,
yeah,
Hard Knocks.
Phillips and Chubb, Howard, Ginkle. Now you
then-
have Jerome Baker's out.
Tyreek was limping off the field that last play of the game.
Javon Holland, we don't know if he's
Yeah.
going to play Sunday because apparently his knee's that messed up from a sprained MCL. That's the one that worries me the most because he's legitimately a top 3 safety in the league.
I'm waiting for you to give me something to believe in Miami this Sunday, and you have
Yeah,
it.
if they run the ball.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
just
Run
run
the ball.
I mean-
Because the Chiefs rank in the bottom half of the league against defending the run.
Okay.
And Miami's obviously the top 2 or top 3
Yeah.
rushing
Mhm.
behind either San Francisco. It's either
With
them
their
or San
current
Francisco.
with their current line,
Yeah, the line, that's what was a big topic, how Tua stayed healthy the whole year, right? That
Right.
was the biggest thing. Can he stay healthy for a whole season? He did that. The line has had, I think they were first or second in the amount of different combinations they had in the O-line, and they just figured out a way to do it. And that was a shout out to the O-line coach. So it didn't matter who was there.
Okay.
They were going to figure it out. And the rushing attack has never been a problem for Miami, you know?
Right.
So as long as they run the ball, which I think they should do, right? Unless
that
Mike
has to be the game plan.
McDaniel tries to outcoach himself. But
How over or under 2.5 jet sweeps for Tyreek alone?
for Tyreek,
You think they're going to force feed Tyreek?
no,
Especially if Waddle doesn't play?
no, it's going to be on a pitch count, especially if he's hurt.
If he's got the
It's
weird
just
ankle.
I think the temperature plays such a factor. It's 0 degrees at kickoff.
But I mean, Tyreek's used that environment. That's where he came from.
Yeah, but I mean, not everyone else. I mean,
Yeah.
This is gonna be the coldest game Tua's ever played in.
Oh,
It
100%.
has to be.
100%.
Right? Hawaiian boy who played
Played
at
at
Alabama
Alabama.
and Miami.
on. He came out and clarified he's not Hawaiian.
Oh, what is he?
He's Samoan, but he grew up in Hawaii.
Okay.
But-
Wait, hold on. Does he?
Okay.
Okay, but he lived in Hawaii, right?
Yeah,
Did
he
he have a
grew up-
driver's license for Hawaii?
I don't know.
Okay. All right,
Maybe he
that's-
he went off
Anyway.
to college.
Anyways. Okay,
Someone
so we
asked
got a
that question.
Samoan who grew up in Hawaii,
Yeah.
went to school in Alabama, and plays for the Miami Dolphins. This is gonna be a cold game. This is gonna be a super cold game.
But he also
Okay.
played in the snow last year, and he threw up numbers. I mean, they lost in Buffalo,
Buffalo.
that
Yeah.
early December game. But I mean, they got to
Isn't that
play.
where they had to wear the white jerseys.
Yeah, they got to
that was
play in it
crazy.
too. You know, so it's
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
as long as they run the ball, I think they will win.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna
As long as they run the
tough
ball.
weather for the Chiefs too.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be just a rough game all around. It's a Saturday night game, which is interesting. It's a Peacock game.
Yeah,
Everybody's got to bootleg the game, So
Yeah, the cheap asses just pay for Peacock.
it's like what $5.99,
Yeah.
or it's like $10.99, like the premium.
It's like $5.99.
premium subscription
It's
or
like
whatever.
$6.
Yeah, so that's
I
not
will
it's not
Catch
that
my
bad.
Premier League, catch the occasional football game. You're
I'm
fine.
honestly just paying a monthly subscription to watch The Office at this point.
That's just crazy.
That's pretty much. I mean,
crazy.
that's what
I've
it
seen The
was on
Office
Netflix.
enough. So.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's move on, and we'll get back into the game when we go ahead and talk about the playoffs a little bit later.
Sure.
But the season's over, right? Regular season's over. Everybody's going home. We have a crazy amount
everyone.
of head coaching vacancies. Any big surprises? Which is the biggest surprise? Pete Carroll or Rabel and Bill Belichick potentially?
I'm gonna say Vrabel. We've talked about this before. I just didn't expect that. A guy that won Coach of the Year like 2 years ago, and clearly he had a terrible roster this year. That was just shocking. Pete Carroll is kind of like the Bill Belichick. Are you just gonna retire type of thing? Like after every season, people are gonna wonder, are you done? So that didn't really surprise me. It was a shock, but not like more surprising than the Vrabel fire.
I mean, we'll take a look at the head coach.
The Rabel one was the one that I
just
I
add
had
Seattle to that list.
I had told you guys like a
You
couple
did.
weeks back. I was like, that's the one that I think is gonna happen, and, you know. But even when it did happen, I was kind of like, oh,
It was still
I was
kind of
like- I was like,
like a
wait.
punch, right?
Yeah.
I was like,
oh,
I didn't think it was gonna happen like abruptly, but like because Monday came and went, nothing was said, and then yesterday out of nowhere, because usually it's called Black Monday, right?
right.
Yes.
Because they fire all the coaches the day after the season ends. Didn't hear anything about that except for
We only got what's his name in Atlanta and Ron Rivera, right?
yeah, because half these other teams had let him go during the season.
And so, I mean, Vrabel, do you guys think? I mean, he kind of wanted to get out of there a little bit. Like, I mean, things haven't gone his way. I mean, I just think back to that draft day where they traded away AJ Brown. And he just gets up, he's cracking his neck, he's doing whatever it takes not to punch his GM.
I don't know how you look at this as a GM, and you look at starting Will Levis like 3 games throughout the year, and have zero depth at wide receiver, and look at it and be like, it's the head coach's problem.
Right, and then having to
Yeah.
start Malik Willis last year.
This guy went to the playoffs and won in the playoffs with Ryan Tannehill.
Right, he
So I
revived his career.
Something Miami could not do.
Yeah, just didn't work out over there.
Yeah,
man.
so I
Must have been the weather.
I maybe it's a firing, but it was a mutual parting ways. Hey, I'm hearing Bill's out.
But you would
I want to go to New England.
But that's the
thing.
thing is, like, you would think like they would come out and say, okay, it's mutual parting, like what Seattle did.
They
with,
said firing, but when I looked at it, they said they just weren't going to renew his contract because it was up.
His contract was up.
Yeah.
I thought he was under contract.
But I think there are some media outlets that reported it as a firing.
Everything I looked at said fired.
Yeah, but then I went and looked, and then someone said like he wasn't fired. They just didn't agree to terms to renew their deal. So I was like, oh, so
Interesting.
That's surprising.
maybe his contract was up in March. I don't know.
That's what I was like. Maybe it's just like, you know what? If things aren't working out here, he knows that there's going to be other jobs available, which we look at some pretty attractive jobs. And then potentially another attractive job might come up, right? Like,
Patriots.
and now at this point,
Well, that's the one that I want to talk about with Vrabel, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys were talking about how it kind of came up out of nowhere, and
Mm-hmm.
but someone broke down his. He got inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame during the season.
Right, he's got his red jacket, right?
Yeah,
during his bye week.
and someone like broke down, like they clipped a part of his speech where he was talking about. I guess it pissed off the Titans owner because he like kind of left the door open to potentially going back. He was like, "You guys don't know how good you have it here. Like, it's a great situation with the organization, the owner." Kind of just like lathering them up. I'm like,
you guys see this? This is how it's done.
Yeah. Literally, that's what he said. Like, this is the way it's
between
supposed
the
to
lines.
be done.
Wow.
And so it's like,
no wonder he got fired.
yeah, he kind of set himself up for his next job.
It's like when you're with your girlfriend, but you're like constantly talking about your ex, and you're like, she kept the house clean.
Why don't you go live with her then?
All right, I guess I will.
Okay.
So then we have what? So there was only Atlanta. That was the other one, right?
And Ron Rivera.
Ron Rivera were the only ones like that came out this week.
Yeah.
Or last week they announced that Ron Rivera wouldn't be back.
Right. Right. Everybody else.
And Pete Carroll today.
So then,
Pete Carroll today. That's the newest one.
Okay, of those 7 jobs, then which one is the most?
Seattle.
You think Seattle is?
Well, hold on. I think the Chargers is very interesting too, because I think the Chargers are probably the team that is set up to win. Although I saw the Chargers free agent list, it's like everyone, like Bosa, Mack, Allen,
But the key piece I would say is
Herbert. Yeah, but okay, if you're gonna rebuild it, is anyone gonna want to be part of a rebuild? It just kind of depends. I think it's between the Chargers and Seattle for me. I think the Raiders is somewhat entertaining. Maybe you just gotta have the right fit for that.
Devontae. I mean, and then
but
I don't know
who's
if
your
you guys,
quarterback next year?
And
is
that's,
it Aiden O'Connell or is it Jimmy G?
That's the thing is like, any of these teams trade up to go get a quarterback, to go get a guy? Or
I think
Chargers don't need one.
My personal one, I think any one of the teams in the South, Atlanta, Carolina, or Tennessee, is the best one.
Because that division's wide open.
Because of the division.
Right.
Because you look at the Raiders, you got to deal with Herbert and Mahomes. Washington, you got to deal with Philly and Dallas.
Right.
And then Chargers, same thing. You got to deal with Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. Although Washington will probably have the best quarterback option when it comes to the draft. They're the number 2.
Right. You're already giving up on Sam Howell?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't. But
I would.
I think a lot of people are, and I'm willing to bet they will trade.
The Dolphins fan base would be very upset. Or actually happy. That
they're on his side.
I
give up on your guy.
Yeah.
He sucks. Get him out. Ship him out.
I think Washington would probably trade
We're in
with
the
Chicago.
Playoffs? We're on the playoffs on the road?
Yeah.
Get
no
this
chance.
bum out of here.
Get him
dude.
out.
Get this lefty.
11 wins out.
Yeah, dude.
Back-to-back playoff seasons? No.
No.
Not good enough.
Unacceptable.
Did you win the division?
No.
Unacceptable.
Did you lose the division in the last game of the season with an interception?
Let's bring back Ryan Tannehill.
Whoa.
So he can show everybody how it's done.
He gonna go play receiver. That's what he's gonna do.
I mean, you look at these jobs here. I mean, the most attractive piece to me, I would say, is Herbert, because I mean, I don't think you necessarily have to rebuild because there's still some pieces there. I mean, there's going to be a lot of free agents where you're going to have to let some guys go. But I mean, that's every year, right? You always have to at least clear the books, bring in some new talent.
Another interesting thing, Kellen Moore is still under contract.
What happens with him?
What happens
with him? Does he go get another job? Does he stay there? Is you still bring him on as your OC?
If you're a defensive-minded head coach, you might appreciate that because you don't got to worry about the offense.
And then and also same thing with the Raiders. You have Antonio Pierce. Do you keep him along? Right? Because the players love him. Do you keep him on?
I would. Some might call
keep
it
him
a demotion.
As a linebacker coach?
Call it promotion. I'd make him my DC.
Is he ready? Is he ready for that job?
I'd
go
after Harbaugh.
Or I mean, you make him the players' relation coach or whatever. I mean, he can be that bridge between the players.
Your number one defensive guy, probably your best player on the season, Max Crosby, said he wants him as the head coach.
All pro Max Crosby.
The Players Association.
I mean, if Jim Harbaugh gets available, dude,
I'm taking Jim Harbaugh.
The trigger,
and I'm making Pierce my DC.
Look, I just don't think. I don't know. Harbaugh would seem like a legitimate choice for the Raiders, obviously, but their owner is probably one of the most erratic owners in the league, where you don't know what he's gonna do.
Right.
We all agreed that Rich Bisaccia should have stayed as the head coach 2 years ago.
Yep.
And he just bring in McDaniels.
He just let him go. Brought in McDaniels, new GM.
Seems the only thing that stays consistent over there is that guy's haircut. I mean, everything else is changing.
That pedo haircut.
Yeah.
But I mean, Harbaugh with LA, that's the one that's gaining steam right now. But even they've tied him to pretty much half these jobs already. Somebody said, well, Harbaugh to Atlanta.
Is there any chance that Harbaugh runs it back in Michigan? Defends his title?
No, I think
so
I think regardless he would have left, because I think it was just I think his time was up there. I think he wants to go to the NFL. Mm-hmm. Another rumor that I thought was picking up steam was Bill Belichick to LA. And go to the Chargers. I mean, if anything, if I were to try to predict, I would predict Bill going to LA and Harbaugh going to the Raiders. Making that division just even more.
I
think those make a lot of sense.
Andy Reid and Sean Payton. what a tandem of coaches right there. I don't know, but it's gonna be interesting. We talked about earlier through text Dan Quinn to Seattle, or he's gonna probably be interviewed there.
Looks like he's the front runner for that one.
Ben Johnson's probably going to be interviewed for a couple of these jobs. That's the OC for the Lions. Frank Smith, the OC for the Dolphins, he's apparently going to be interviewed by the Panthers sometime next week.
The Niners going to lose another defensive coordinator
Yeah,
consecutively. It was like,
I mean,
what, 4 in a row.
He was. I mean, I don't think he was that great as a defensive coordinator.
I don't think he'll get a job.
Who's Steve Wilkes?
Yeah, like I mean, he was decent enough, but I think also a lot of it, the players were kind of, doing things out of schedule or out of scheme.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he also gave up like 400 yards to Kirk Cousins. Like, let's not forget that he did that. So,
I mean, every once in a while, coach got to be bad. I mean, Dan Quinn had his fair share of bad games this year.
but I think, I mean, also too, I think the Cowboys will be fine without Dan Quinn. As long as you got Micah Parsons on your defense, I think whatever coordinator comes in, you guys will be fine.
Well, I think a lot of people want Harris to be promoted from
Al Harris?
Yeah, from DB coach to defensive coordinator, and I don't know how I feel about that. I think he's done a great job with our DBs, our secondary, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what his mind scheme is enough to be promoted from running the secondary to running the entire defense. But
it's a big jump.
I mean, he's doing a damn good job at what he's doing now, so maybe
Right.
he can handle it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still
mean-
hope we keep Dan Quinn.
And then the way things have kind of panned out, at this point, you got to have to keep Mike McCarthy, right? Like, I mean, he's calling the offense, he's running it, he's making Dak play better than he's ever played before.
I at the start of the season we talked about he has to at least go to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl, or else he would have been fired.
Right.
But I'm gonna backtrack on that based
I
on what
would
he
too.
did to Dak
Yeah.
Prescott this year. The chemistry that they have is phenomenal. So I mean he's staying. Only head coach for the Cowboys to ever win 12 games 3 years in a row.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it's a good trade off, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna let go of somebody, like, okay, Dan Quinn, go do your thing, be the head coach again. But I mean, if Mike McCarthy is doing what he's doing now, like it's as long as it translates to the next year. I think you guys, CD Lamb coming back and the majority of your players coming back. So I mean, even if they don't make a run this year, like I think you guys will be fine, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's more of the in my opinion, the players
Right.
and not necessarily so much the scheming.
Right. All right. So let's move on from head coaches and let's go ahead. Let's kind of go like a brief recap over the season. I kind of
Okay.
want to see your guys' thoughts of what you guys thought. Let's go ahead. What was your guys' I guess most surprising team of the year? Like what team would you guys say exceeded your expectations?
Well, at the beginning of the season, I thought the Cleveland Browns would win a playoff game, and then after some of the injuries, I said there's no shot, no chance, and now they surprised me. So I don't know if that's necessarily a surprise from the beginning of the season, but at the midway point of the season, to me, that's a surprise.
You just feel good that you were right.
Well, yeah, part of me does. It's clearly not the same team that I predicted to do well, but I
Somehow, some way, they figured it out.
they figured it out. Yeah,
So did Drew. He figured it out.
yeah.
Great job,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, well,
Nice,
thank
dude.
you.
Nice.
Well, they still have to win this Saturday, and then everything I said would be true.
We'll talk about that a little bit later. OC, what do you think, man?
I think I'm gonna go with Houston.
Okay.
Again, at the beginning of the year, I told you guys I was excited to watch D'Amico Ryans be in charge of a team. But I mean, I'm not gonna sit here. I wasn't as correct as Drew. I mean, I thought they would be good. I didn't think they would win the division good.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I thought maybe they'd win. I don't know, 6-7 games and maybe have some good.
Which is
Play.
a good season.
But I mean, these dudes ended up winning the division because the
Right.
Jaguars had a debacle at the end of the year.
That's another thing, yeah.
But probably Houston for me. That'll be the surprise.
Okay. Two good ones. I think the one I think surprised me the most was
You
probably
said Packers.
Tampa Bay. And
Oh,
I mean
9 wins.
that's the thing is like I was more surprised probably by the play of Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans than probably anything else. I thought that division was so wide open to begin with. I thought for sure Carr was going to go in and cakewalk it. Let's go ahead. Let's get these wins. Let's squeeze into the playoffs. Get a home playoff game. And Carr did what Carr does, dude, and he kind of was a little bit of a letdown this year, right? His numbers are pretty similar to the Raiders. I think they actually finished with the same record, right? The Saints and the Raiders.
No, I think the Saints had 9 wins. 8 wins.
I think it was close, right?
Close. I mean,
So the Raiders had 8 wins, And the Saints
They either had 8 or 9.
9 wins.
9.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So they were close.
9, 8, 8, 9.
Yeah, pretty close. So I would go with probably Baker Mayfield, probably, putting that all together. And then I thought Todd Bowles for a second there. I thought he was going to be out as a head coach. I mean, and especially not being able to win that division. Let's go to the opposite end. Let's go to the most disappointing team of the 23 season.
Halfway through the season, it was the Bills for me, but
They turned it around.
They turned it around.
Yeah.
A team that was disappointing, maybe the Jags.
Okay.
I feel like I don't know too many teams where I expect them to do really well. They didn't do really well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe the Chiefs a little bit, but how can you necessarily be disappointed at 11-win team? So,
True.
So I'm going to stick
They
with
just
Jags.
weren't as dominant.
They missed that. They should have cakewalked that division. Gardner Minshew started most of the season. You got C.J. Stroud as a rookie, and Tennessee fired their head coach. So how do you not win that division?
Right. OC?
The Chargers.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
talent in the world. I've had to hear for multiple years how Herbert was better than Tua and he could stay healthy, but it ended up being the opposite this year. And I just feel like they were disappointed, or they had the most disappointing season of the teams that had expectations, right? Because a lot of people had penciled them in already, maybe not as a division winner, but to win at least 10
At least
games.
a wild
Yeah.
card team. Right.
And, I mean, he only played what? He didn't play the last 3 games of the season, right?
Herbert?
He got hurt.
He got hurt.
Easton
Yeah.
Stick.
But I mean,
So-
I think he also missed games during the year, right? With like the broken
He
finger.
broke a finger.
Right.
Yeah, or he missed snaps, but
Yeah.
yeah, for me, with the Chargers.
And then Austin Eckler too. Really.
Yeah, he had a
disappointing
really
year.
down year.
Yeah. On a contract
Held
year too.
Held
I
me
think.
back. Yep. Held me
Yeah.
back in fantasy.
Yeah, 2 good ones. I would also say the Bengals, and I know like they lost Joe Burrow, and the whole injury thing. He started off the year hurt, which kind of sucked, but like we kind of saw that okay, it's the same old Bengals. They start off slow and then they pick up and then they get going, and then the injury happened and they just completely fell apart. Even though Jake Browning came in, had a few good games, right?
He did decent.
Yeah, but then even when Joe Burrow,
He beat Trevor Lawrence, didn't he?
yeah, he did. And then even with Joe Burrow, when he was healthy and he was in, things still didn't really connect, right?
They did when
It
they went
didn't-
to San Francisco.
That was
Yeah.
the one
The one
game,
game where
the
they're
one
firing
time
on
The
all
one
cylinders.
where I benched Jamar Chase in my fantasy, and then
Why would you
exactly.
do that?
I mean, he had a shit year, right? Like
I
fantasy
mean,
wise.
yeah, to his standard, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'd ever sit him.
Yeah, he's
But
He-
hey, you know what? You won the championship, so you do you.
Yeah, but this was in another fantasy.
Oh, so
I didn't have Jamar Chase. in my
Dumbass.
guys's,
Why'd you
yeah.
do that?
And then that's the thing is I learned my lesson, and I was like, I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill in this one, and that's that paid off big time. Let's go ahead. Let's go with most disappointing player. I mean, we kind of went over that a little bit, but what kind of player you guys were out there kind of just let you down, other than fantasy points?
I mean, I guess there's a couple position players. Devonta Adams let me down.
Yeah,
Austin Eckler, like you said, he let me down. Jalen Hurts. I mean, I was thrilled about it, but it's kind of a letdown. In my opinion.
I would say,
I mean,
yeah,
he really didn't do much for me.
it's a good options. OC?
That's about it.
Justin Herbert couldn't stay healthy,
Yeah, that sucked.
and when he was healthy, he wasn't that good.
Hmm.
So that's the one for me. The Chargers and Justin Herbert. Disappointing team and player.
And player.
Whatever your next question is, OC's going to pick the Chargers.
The Chargers. Well, I was.
hold on. I'll add in Travis Kelce. By far his worst
That's a
year.
good one. That's a good
He
one.
did. He
almost
did.
had 1,000 yards, but yeah, by
He
far.
take a dip, man. And what sucks is that
Just
it came
so
at the same time that he started dating a certain lady,
Interesting.
which we reach our max. We
Interesting.
can't say her name
We're
anymore.
not saying- all right.
Yeah,
We're not
I think we're done with that.
Okay.
I think we're over it.
All right.
Uh,
She's not a true KC fan. Also, by the way, she canceled her suite. Did you hear that?
she canceled it.
She canceled it.
She's
she had
like,
she had a suite for the game, and then she like.
Oh,
nah,
never mind.
Never mind. She probably figured out before everyone else that Travis wasn't going to play.
And
in
the one in
LA?
LA.
Yeah. So yeah,
Well, I mean, those suites were going for like $30 anyways.
That's-
So, like,
it's crazy. Fake
Yeah.
fan. Fake
Yeah.
fan.
Kind of, I would say disappointing, but I would go with Justin Jefferson. I mean, I know the injury sucked.
The guy that had over 1,000 yards still.
I mean, but it's still. I think it was just mostly the injuries, right? Him and Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase, even when he was healthy, still didn't perform. But I would still go with Justin Jefferson, just on the injuries, like you guys said. Just stay healthy, right?
Okay.
I mean, that kind of sucks. Let's go ahead. Let's go with storylines. What storylines throughout the whole year kind of just surprised you guys the most or shocked you guys the most?
Well,
What comes to mind?
I think the Packers making the playoffs is kind of a good storyline. Like I didn't see that. I thought the Vikings and the Lions would be better. I even thought that the Bears would probably be better than the Packers.
We counted them out.
And so for Jordan Love to get it done and make the playoffs, not too bad.
Not too bad.
That's kind of surprised me.
Okay. OC?
Probably Joe Flacco coming off the couch and then
That's pretty cool.
willing the
That was cool.
Browns, willing the Browns to a playoff spot. Which if it wasn't for Lamar Jackson, the stretch he had down the last month of the season, they probably might have won the division. But
Yeah.
Joe
close.
Flacco is probably one of the storylines. The other one, probably the refereeing all year.
That one sucked.
Because at least one or two of these playoff games this weekend, or even next weekend throughout the playoffs, it's gonna
There's
come down to a blown call.
A team's gonna get screwed
Yeah.
this upcoming weekend, guaranteed.
And hopefully it's not our teams, but it's bound to
Knock
happen.
on wood, yeah.
It's bound to happen, good or bad.
Micah Parsons is not gonna get called. I'm gonna tell you that right now. He ain't gonna get favorable calls. I'm gonna text you guys and be like, "Did you see that play?"
If anything, he's going to call for some
dude
BS, roughing the passer.
The dude was tackled
Yeah.
and somehow he roughed the passer.
He's going to just hit Jordan Love on the helmet and just
yeah.
roughing the passer.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that. I think that'll happen. My favorite storyline is all the stuff that came out of Las Vegas and with Mike McDaniels or Josh McDaniels, sorry, and it's just all the toxicity that came out of that building. It was just, to me, I think it was just interesting to watch, right?
The storyline about who was it? Was it Pierce dogging the Patriots?
And he's
something
like,
and
"Don't
then-
talk about the Patriots
Don't talk
like
about
that."
The Patriot way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
And that's another guy, dude. Like Vrabel, like this is how it's done
Yeah.
over here, right? So I just thought that was interesting. It was a lot of fun to watch, especially when everybody was coming out and just roasting him. When they had and I just picture like the roast of Michael Scott. So how dumb is he? Just like, he's so dumb. How dumb is he? Yeah. So
Man.
I just thought that was funny. That was
Okay.
hilarious. Anything else you guys want to add? Any big questions you guys want to talk about before we go into the playoffs for next week?
Let me ask you guys a couple questions. Who's your MVP, offensive player, defensive player?
Rapid fire, I would go Lamar, CMC, and Myles Garrett.
MVP Lamar, offensive Tyreek, and defensive. We had this argument earlier.
You brought up some good points earlier.
I mean, statistically, T.J. Watt was better across the board than Myles Garrett by kind of a long shot.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, Max Crosby 90 tackles is insane.
That one's a tough one. The defensive player.
I'll say Max Crosby defensive.
Okay.
To be different, I'm gonna go defensive player of the year, Deron Bland. He's not gonna win it, but hey,
The record was cool.
Set the record.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'll give you my vote. I think realistically it'd be Myles Garrett. Offensive, I'm gonna go Tyreek.
I thought you were going to go CD Lamb.
No. I mean he was really close, but no. MVP Lamar.
Okay.
You beat the Niners. You beat who else did he beat there at the end? Miami. You got the job done. You did things that other players couldn't do.
Okay.
Coach of the year for you guys?
What's his face in Cleveland?
Stefanski?
Stefanski. This was kind of up in the air, man. This was
There's
hard.
so much adversity he had to go through, and he got it done.
The amount of star players he lost, or
Yeah.
notable positions like his quarterback.
Well, I mean, the two
his
big
star
ones.
running back.
Yeah.
You lost your running back.
The
you
Nick
lost your
Chubb injury
quarterback.
sucked.
Njoku missed a couple games because he burned his face off.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah. And
we
came back
didn't
looking like
And-
Two-Faced did.
Yeah, but then after he came back, it's like a whole new Njoku. Like he was like
Yeah.
touchdowns.
It's like he
every
went to the
game.
other side and he came
yeah.
back and
He says, "I
came back
figured
with
it out.
superpowers and stuff.
I know the key to
It's
success."
like
now.
Constantine, dude. Yeah. I would go Ryans.
D'Amico.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can see.
Who are you picking?
Probably D'Amico, just because he won the division in his first year. So
And then plus, I mean, what they're doing with C.J. Stroud, dude.
Yeah.
rookie
Man,
quarterback.
Rookie quarterback. And then to come in clutch at the end, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like just putting it all together. Playoffs on the line. I mean, it was. I thought it was just a cool storyline, and just seeing how emotional they were after the game.
You know what I was thinking about? Can you guys name any one player on their defense?
The Texans.
No, I cannot. You got me. You got me against the wall on that one.
No.
I mean, I can
No.
name one, but I just know because he was drafted there. So.
Oh, it just came up.
Derek
No.
Stingley, but I was thinking about like they don't have like a marquee like name on defense.
No, but I mean,
Nothing that
I
jumps
don't.
off the wall.
I mean, is their defense good? I mean, it's good
It's-
enough to make the playoffs.
it's
but,
one of those bend don't break ones.
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, and also their offense. I mean, just the explosion with like Nico Collins came onto the scene, Tank
Yeah,
Dell.
they did it with
Don't
Dalton
sleep
Schultz.
on Dalton Schultz.
No, Dalton
man.
Schultz was good. Like
He's a
he
good
was a good
tight
tight end.
guys that weren't established in the league, like had no like. I don't think anybody in
Dalton Schultz might have been their like going into the season. That was
Right.
for me their like number one receiver.
But they
their tight
you
end.
you
yeah,
had
so did I.
like
It's the only guy I knew.
yeah.
basically in fantasy though, like I don't think anybody drafted anybody besides Damian Pierce, maybe Schultz. Late.
And then
think Schultz got-
Damian Pierce was like
he
a
ended up getting the
letdown.
bench.
Yeah.
yeah,
Same thing with Singletary too. There too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, that's what was weird. Is like everybody thought the
I
running
didn't even
game
know
was gonna go
Singletary
off.
was still with the Texans.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the play their last game of the season. I was like, Singletary's still here.
I
didn't know this.
contemplated drafting him because of just like, they're just going to get a lot of touches.
Yeah.
The ground game is going to be there because it's a rookie quarterback.
CJ Stroud said, "How about no?"
Oh yeah, dude. And he's like, let me hit my rookie receiver or Nico Collins and
Yeah.
Tank Dell. And
Yeah,
just like, let's
gonna
go
make
off.
names for my guys.
Yeah, dude. Let's just all go off and pick him up in the waiver wire
Yeah.
until
And then I feel
freaking
like-
Tank Dell breaks his leg.
After a while, people forgot Dalton Schultz was on that team.
Yeah.
I had picked him up. I think
Yeah.
I drafted him in one of my leagues
Mhm.
because he was.
I drafted him.
He's a
in
good
one. I
solid
dropped
tight
him.
end.
I dropped him, but that's because I had him and Laporta. And I was
Which
like, I
there
don't
was
need
no. Which this year there was no consistent tight end, right? There was like Mark
Lap-
Andrews had down
Laporta.
year.
I feel like
think
Laporta.
was
Laporta
like-
probably was the best one.
Yeah.
the most
From
consistent.
week 1 to week 18 until he whatever.
Hawkinson was up there until he got
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Andrews was
He
hit
was,
and miss.
hit
he'd
and
have like
miss.
a 20-point
Yeah.
game and then he'd have
Kelsey
like a
flat
2-point
was
game.
flat the entire
And then
season. It
Joku,
wasn't
like
bad.
you said, at
It
the
was
end of
flat.
the year. Yeah.
Ferguson, I feel like he's trending upwards. He started off real low and then he's slowly working his way.
He's
up.
got to work on that
Yeah.
mesh with Dak, right? Just the
I
timing.
think it's improved. In the
Yeah.
beginning of the season, it wasn't great, but it's I'd take Ferguson right now on 3rd and 3. I'm throwing to Jake Ferguson.
Right. All right. You guys ready to move on to playoffs?
Sure.
Let's go ahead. How much time do we have on there? What's on there?
52 minutes, but
Okay.
like we've only recorded for like 40 because
Yeah,
the
that's-
first 12 minutes you wasted our time.
We bullshitted a lot.
No, you just
You.
you said, guys, I got us a Twitter. Look at this.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Speaking
where
of
it
which,
is.
make sure
Just-
you like and follow us on Twitter.
just don't look at my likes.
Don't look at German's like German runs the Twitter
Stay
account.
on the retweets.
Everything
I'm
is
new to Twitter.
I am not
Everything is-
associated with that account.
everything is funny.
I am new
Funny.
to Twitter. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the playoff bracket. I was thinking, let's go ahead. Let's all make our own bracket and let's go through it. And
Bet I've done this like 5 times already.
you already did it.
I
you
already
want to go
got
ahead?
it.
You want to go
I got it in
first?
my mind. Yeah.
All
All right,
go for
go
it.
ahead.
Okay, so game 1 is what is it? Steelers Bills.
No, Saturday's Browns.
Oh yeah,
Texans.
Texans. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
we're starting
Browns.
here.
That defense is gonna be too much for CJ Stroud.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I like it.
And then the next game is Dolphins Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be closer than I thought because of the weather, but OC put that faith back in me, so I'm gonna still say the Dolphins.
Ooh,
had,
switching last second.
So like 3 days ago, I picked the Dolphins, And then I kind of found out the weather was crap, and then I switched to the Chiefs. But then OC restored a little bit of faith in me, so I'm gonna.
You're sitting there on the test, like erasing that bubble, like going back.
Shit, the smart guy in
then,
the class.
And then you get it wrong.
Saturday night,
Yeah.
you'll be like, God
Damn it! I should have listened to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dolphins. Okay, so
Okay.
then what's the morning game is Steelers and Bills.
Yep.
I think game's gonna be a little bit closer than people think. But
Even without TJ Watt?
yeah, but it's because it's supposed to snow, and I think that changes everything.
We saw Allen struggle last year in the snow.
Yeah, we're taking the ball out of Josh Allen's hands. And can
that
Cooks
playoff
have
game against Miami.
Can Cooks have another game where he just completely takes over like he did against Dallas?
Right.
I still think the Bills will win, but I think it's gonna be a little bit closer than people think.
Okay.
Okay, and then we got Cowboys Green Bay. Cowboys haven't lost at home. Mike McCarthy's got to prove something. Micah Parsons is going to be upset because Micah Parsons is always upset. So I'm going to take the Cowboys. Then the Lions and the Rams. I think Matthew Stafford's going to go home and beat the Lions.
Really?
Because I think Matthew Stafford's that dude. He was that dude when he was with Detroit. He was that dude when he beat the Niners in the divisional game and went on to win the Super Bowl. I like Matthew Stafford. If there's any team that's going to beat the Niners in the next round, it's going to be Matthew Stafford and the Lions. Okay, so I'm taking the Rams over the Lions, and then Eagles and Bucks. I'm going to pick the Bucks because the Eagles are trending downwards. The Bucks are kind of trending upwards, and fuck the Eagles. All right, now we're going back over, and so it's going to be Ravens and Browns. I'm going to pick the Browns because Lamar is, 1-3 in the playoffs? And I like that Browns defense. So
Joe Flacco heading into town.
Flacco going
yes.
back to Baltimore.
And I think
like-
it's a
I
great
like that
story.
one.
It's a
I
great
like that one.
storyline.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Well, hold
everyone,
on. Who did you pick? Bills or Steelers?
Bills.
He picked Bills.
I think it's gonna be close, but
So then, if you have the Bills,
It would be the Bills Chiefs.
yes, it would be.
No, he
Or
picked the
actually, it
Dolphins.
would be Bills Miami.
so then
Right.
it would be Dolphins at Ravens.
oh, it's Dolphins at
because
Ravens.
they reset the.
Oh yeah, because it's worse seed.
right,
It's worse
right,
seed, so
right,
you
right,
can't
right.
have a
There's
division
not
winner.
like a bracket.
It's,
Okay.
it's the lowest
Okay.
seed.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
lowest seed. Yeah.
Okay, so then it's gonna be. Then the Ravens are gonna beat Miami.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so then it's Browns Bills. I'm still taking the Browns to beat the Bills then.
Okay.
Okay.
I got the Browns, and then the Browns going to beat the Ravens in the AFC Championship. So Browns going to the Super Bowl.
Browns in the Super Bowl.
That defense, I like the Browns.
Joe Flacco in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, beating the Ravens at home or on the road, I guess, to win the AFC. That's dude, what a great story.
Okay.
Okay, then going back over, so we got Cowboys and then Bucks. And I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Shocking.
Then you're going to have Rams and Niners. And I think this is going to be such a good game. That's going to be a really good game.
The Rams and Niners.
Rams and Niners. I'm going to pick the Niners. I think the Rams can do it, but I'm going to pick the Niners because the Niners are the better team. And then you're going to have Niners and Cowboys in the NFC Championship game, which is like going back to the 90s all over again.
Right.
And you can't lose 4 in a row. You can't lose 4 in a row. Come on, Dallas. So then I got Browns and Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And I'm going to pick the Cowboys.
Okay.
No bias there at all.
Okay. OC, let's go ahead. Let's hear it, man.
Um,
And that's the problem is that we're fans and then we have our teams in
Yes.
the playoffs. If we were
who did
neutral,
you have winning the Super Bowl?
the Cowboys, dude.
Cowboys.
Of course.
All right.
This is our year. We them boys.
You're just gonna get
I
more
know.
heat in the
I
comments. I like it though. I like it.
Shout out
Lean
to those
in.
viewers.
Lean in, dude.
Watch and comment on your hate on me all you want. I don't
Yeah,
care.
thanks
Give
for
me,
watching,
give me those
guys.
likes.
Homer
Thanks for
Drew.
watching, guys.
Homer
with
Drew.
with a shocking pick.
I know.
We like the interaction too. It makes it fun for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Browns over Texans, then Dolphins over Chiefs, Bills over Steelers. So in the second round, I'd have Dolphins at Ravens to host the AFC title game against the Bills. Ravens to win, AFC representative. I skipped over the Bills and
Yeah.
Browns, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bills and
Well,
Browns.
Bills, right?
Bills and Browns second round. I'll go. I'll go Bills. So Bills and Ravens in the
Would
AFC
this,
title
would this
game.
one make it easier? Having the
It
seeding
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Bills and Ravens in the AFC title game with the Ravens winning.
Okay.
NFC Dallas to win over Green Bay. I like the Rams also on the road.
Interesting.
Then I will take. This one's a tough one. I think this is one of the.
Is this going to be the closest game?
It might be, and then it's supposed to be pouring rain on Monday night in Tampa.
In Tampa, I think this is the most difficult game for me.
I think pick. I'll go Philly here. So then Philly's the what? The 5.
Philly's the 5.
Okay, yeah. So then that would mean Rams
and
at
Cowboys.
Niners.
No, Rams and Cowboys.
No, because the Rams are the 6.
Yeah, it would be Rams and Niners.
It resets.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So then I have Rams and Niners second round. So I'll have San Francisco moving on at home. They host against. So then that means I would have Philly and Dallas second round.
Yeah.
Dallas at home, and then I have Dallas and San Francisco, and then I'll take San Francisco.
What?
To play the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
Nice.
And Ravens to win.
What is that rematch of what year? Is that 2012?
2012. Yeah, that was.
When you picked the Ravens?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the year. Rematch. That was the year I got used to the heartbreak.
Yeah.
And then I had to deal with it again.
Well, this one when Harbaugh lost to Harbaugh.
Yes.
When the power went out.
Yes, the one in New Orleans.
Yeah.
OC. I mean, yours is pretty similar to mine. I would go. Let's see. I would go Cleveland over Texas or Texans.
So we got a clean sweep there.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one was tough for me too, but I'm gonna go KC.
Okay.
Based on the experience in the playoffs. Is this Tua's first playoff game?
Second.
Starting.
First, right? Because he didn't start the one against Buffalo.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He was hurt, right?
Skylar Thompson
I'm
almost knocked the Bills off last year.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Bills over Pittsburgh, and I think this is the first round blowout game, the annual blowout game for the playoffs. I'm not taking Green Bay over Dallas. The whole notion of like the Green Bay is like undefeated or whatever against Dallas.
They own Dallas.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers isn't there. It's a completely different team. You're not stopping Dallas right now. I'm gonna go Detroit over the Rams. I like the storyline of Matthew Stafford going into Detroit and winning it. He's still loved there. I think he still has a big fan base there.
By the way, I think there was like a report or something where there was like something circulating on the internet how Lions fans said, "Do not wear your Matt Stafford Lions jersey."
They
to
said
this
no, not this one.
They legitimately like said they've made like a flyer and said the jerseys will not be allowed.
Ooh. In Detroit too? I'd be listening if I'm in Detroit.
But I don't know. I mean, are you really gonna be able to enforce that? You know,
no.
You're gonna tell a little 6-year-old kid, take that off. You can't wear the Stafford jersey in here.
You never know, dude. Football would be different over there, man.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna go with the Lions over the Rams, and then this game too. This is the most difficult game for me, but I'm leaning towards the Eagles, only because Tampa Bay didn't look that great against Carolina, right? Mm-hmm. Like with the division on the line, playoff on the line, you just squeeze it out, right? So that's the only reason I'm gonna go with that. Cleveland going into Baltimore, I like the storyline of Joe Flacco too much. And Baltimore doing the things that they've done in the past with Lamar going into the playoffs. I think I'm going to go Cleveland knocking off Baltimore. Okay. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm hoping it does because I don't want to play the Ravens again in the Super Bowl. And then we get a Bills-Chiefs game. I'm going to go Bills on this one. I think the Bills over the Chiefs.
So then you have Bills, Chiefs.
Yeah, Bills, Browns.
No.
In the championship.
Yeah, right. And I'm gonna go Bills. I think Josh Allen pulls it off. I think he takes it all the way to the Super Bowl.
Bills to the Super Bowl.
So you have Bills and Niners.
And then the opposite side.
So you got
it's gonna
Dallas.
It's gonna be Detroit against Dallas. Mm-hmm. And the Niners
Who
against
the
Ravens. That's another tough one.
So you have Niners,
really
Eagles.
Hard.
Niners, Eagles.
Detroit,
Eagles.
Dallas.
No, hold on. It would be.
Yeah, and then it would be Detroit.
Yeah.
At Dallas.
Detroit. Yeah, would play Dallas.
That's another one that's I can't call. But I'm gonna go Detroit.
Detroit.
I'm gonna go
and
Detroit over Dallas.
Interesting.
Just because of that matchup, and just because it's hard to beat a team twice in 1 year. I think it's tough. And also too is like I really don't want to see the Rams in the playoffs. It's just that similarity, man. It
The
always
division.
sneaks up on us. Exactly. Yeah, and then so I'm gonna go with the Niners over Detroit, or the Niners beating the Eagles quite handsomely. I think that's not gonna be a close game. And yeah, and then the Niners over Detroit in Santa Clara, and we're gonna go Niners Bills in the Super Bowl. And I think the Niners are gonna pull it off for once. So that one's kind of out there. But also, too, I mean, everything can be bullshit, and the Ravens can just fucking make a run and take it home.
Yeah. I mean, and then Josh Allen is so hot right now. I mean, he can make a run.
And that's
And then
that's what makes it so hard to
if
bet
Patrick
against him.
Mahomes makes a run, are you going to be shocked?
No, I can't count on Mahomes.
So
The AFC, to me, is wide fucking open.
I wouldn't say wide open. I don't
think so.
I don't think the
Other
Texans
than
or Steelers have a chance.
Other than the Steelers and the Texans, yeah.
So you got 4 teams.
Right.
And and then the NFC.
Other
I
than
think
the Packers and
the Packers, Eagles, and Bucks.
Yeah.
So it's down to 4 teams.
I think
you got both divisions. We all got both divisions down to 4 teams.
I think it's. I mean, in the NFC, I think it's down to 3 teams. I think it's between the Niners, Detroit, and the Cowboys. I think those are the big hitters in that division.
I think Dan Campbell's gonna outcoach himself. He's done it so many times against teams this year. I'm taking McVay over Campbell, and then Puka and
Williams,
Cooper.
And then Cooper Kupp.
Dude,
Yeah.
I mean that team is trending upwards.
I think you still have Aaron Donald on the other side.
Exactly,
so
Aaron Donald in front of Jared Goff's face. No, Jared Goff ain't going no business of that.
Right.
So I think my next question for you guys is which one of these like lower seeded teams, 4 or lower, can make a run? I mean, obviously, I think all in the AFC we're all going with the Browns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the one I picked.
So then in the NFC,
The Rams.
the Rams for you.
I think
I would go Rams.
I think
yeah.
the Rams could go to San Francisco and win.
They're the team that's capable of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They can, but I mean, they would have to kind of play damn near perfect games.
We're talking non-division winners, right?
Is Green Bay the 7? Yeah, right.
Green
Yes.
Bay is the 7th, yes. This whole notion that Jordan Love is like getting hot right now,
No.
I don't see it.
No.
I mean,
I
he's
just think
decent.
he's
winning
played well
games.
enough to
yeah.
get himself
You
in.
know that he threw for like 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Aaron Jones ran for over 100 yards, and they only put up 17 points
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah.
I was
See?
trying to understand how that works. How
And
do you
that- and
throw
that
for over 300 yards? Your running back runs for over 100, and you only score 2 touchdowns.
Well, they make the argument of Chicago's defense is playing better than any other defense has in the past.
yeah, but
few
they still
weeks.
gave up over 400 yards.
Right.
So I mean, clearly they weren't stopping.
yeah,
you know?
but they just weren't scoring.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't trust that.
Same
going
with
into
Josh.
playoffs.
I mean, same with Josh Allen. He put up 400 yards, and only put up 21 points.
he only
Or
put up 14. He only put up
Because
14.
one of them was on a punt return.
Yeah.
So I mean, Josh Allen was turning the ball over like crazy in the red zone.
Oh, what's new?
Yeah. So what are you thinking, OC? What are you conjuring up over there, man?
Maybe Philly, just because
The experience.
the experience. But I mean,
Philly's in shambles right now.
I know.
I think the wheels are falling off of
the
Philly.
wheels are falling off. But
even
this,
the fan base is going
but-
in.
this is a perfect matchup for them. Of the 3 games on the NFC side, this is probably the best matchup for them.
Bucks,
yeah.
and then
them
they
going
would go to Dallas.
Them going to Bucks is probably the best.
And it's
thing
a
for
brand
them.
new season. All you
Yeah.
got to do is win one and move on. So,
They'll beat the Bucks. I think they can.
but I think they can literally, like, if worst comes to worst, they could. If the Rams knock off the Lions, then the Eagles would travel to Philly again.
Okay, now which game do you think is most likely to upset everybody or surprise everybody in the first round? Let's just stick with the first round. Which one of these games do you think is going to be like, oh, fuck?
I think it has. I think some. Well, no, because I feel like a lot of people are on the same wavelength that he and I are. That the Rams are going to go to Detroit and win. That leads me to believe the next upset that I think will actually happen is going to be the Dolphins beating the Chiefs.
Okay.
Because I don't think in all the other results anyone's going to be too surprised by.
I think that one's going to be probably the closest game in the first round. Out of
Miami and KC.
Out of all these games, I think that one's going to be the closest
It's
one.
probably going to be like a 20 to 17.
It's gonna be a low
16 to
scoring game.
14.
Yeah.
Are you asking which one's going to be a blowout?
No. I know like which one's like
Shocking.
Shocking. Like,
I think.
Well, the biggest spread is Buffalo, 9.5
right.
points.
And then Dallas, I think, is 7.5.
7.5. Maybe.
But I don't see Buffalo or Dallas losing this game. I think Buffalo will be more likely to lose than Dallas, but I don't think they're going to.
that's what I'm saying.
Just because the weather factor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think surprising. I think is a lot. The Rams beating Detroit. Some may find that surprising. I think if people pay attention, it's not too surprising. But I think Miami going to Kansas City at 0 degrees and running it down Kansas City's throat might surprise a lot of people.
If they run it.
Well, I don't think
They should.
I don't think Miami are huge underdogs the way and the Rams.
Ask Miami fans. They think the season's
and
over.
That's the thing is like I don't know why
They are
I don't-
major underdogs.
I don't.
Except for this guy.
I don't think-
Excuse me
I
for
don't
being
think-
positive about my team.
I think they have a better chance now than they would have if the Bills were going to them. If that makes
If
sense.
the Bills was going to
Oh.
Miami,
Yeah.
Brother, don't
And seeing that's
don't say
Some
that
seasons,
to
no.
half the fan base.
I think this works better in their favor
There
versus
is-
having to take on.
There is
the
legitimately people that bookmark my tweet, people that told me I'm screenshotting this because you're gonna look so dumb Saturday night, and I'm like, oh, well, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Bills.
Standing
I guess
behind
we're
your,
gonna find out Saturday.
you're behind
night.
your Twitter, like all these people talking trash to me,
That's
like
true.
they just
Their
have
glasses
profile
and-
pictures. They're hiding behind the
a
internet.
keyboard,
You-
Yeah.
They're
You know
hiding
what?
behind a Twitter egg. I'm like, all right, dude.
there was a lot of people too that were. You've got personal accounts coming at you. It's like clearly like fan run accounts. So they're only going to tweet about Miami stuff. So you don't know what they look like or their
Yeah.
personality. If you're gonna like go at someone, at least have the balls to do it from
Yeah.
your personal account.
That's true.
So
Stand
this,
behind your
this is
name.
me.
Yeah.
This is who I am.
Like I'm
Now-
not saying anything like vulgar or anything. I was just literally defending my team. Like I was trying to be positive,
and that's what's so weird. You're like being positive about it.
and everyone
And they're
just got
going
mad
in
at
on
me.
you.
You were Jason Garrett, and they were the Cowboys fan
Yeah, I was
base.
like trying to clap up my team, and
Yeah.
everybody was like,
Like,
"No,
no, we suck.
no,
Fuck it,
terrible."
It's over.
Talking so
This
much
franchise
shit,
is
and then
done.
there's just no chin on
Bring
their-
in Caleb Williams now.
That's so weird. That's so weird to me. I think the biggest one I think would be if Houston were to pull it off against
That would be shocking.
the
Yeah,
Cleveland Browns. I think because of how that defense is, I think they're gonna.
I think we overlooked that matchup because Cleveland went in there and smoked Houston a couple weeks ago.
Right.
But then again, CJ didn't play.
CJ didn't play. I mean, who knows? Maybe this is the game that Joe Flacco finally everything just falls apart for him. Because we've seen it this year before, right? When a new quarterback comes in, tears it up, and then they get to that third, fourth, or fifth game, and it's just the wheels just completely.
I'm gonna
fall
follow
off.
the trend.
There's-
He's someone put up a stat and they said Joe Flacco in wild card games is 5-0 all time. So I'm like, oh,
There's 3 Super Bowl winners still alive.
Three.
It's Flacco,
Mahomes.
and Stafford.
Ooh.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we got some experience. I mean, the Niners have made it to the
I'm taking
NFC Championship game.
Regardless of what Joe Flacco was doing 2 months ago, I'm taking him over.
What
a
about
rookie quarterback.
coaches? You got McCarthy, Reed, and Harbaugh.
That are Super Bowl
coaching
winners.
winners?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin's
Oh,
a Super Bowl
Tomlin,
winner.
yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Was that
I forgot they snuck in.
Yeah.
again?
I mean,
Um,
would you consider Todd Bowles a Super Bowl winner? He was the
No.
defensive coordinator,
No, I'm talking about head coach.
Head
in
coach.
charge.
head coaches.
Be the guy in charge.
I
You
mean,
said-
Kyle
you
Shanahan
said
has
Harbaugh,
been
right?
Kyle
Harbaugh.
Shanahan has been to like 30 fucking Super Bowls and haven't won one.
Yeah.
Um,
One of my employees today goes, "Hey, I didn't know the Niners haven't won a Super Bowl more recently than the Cowboys."
Yeah,
I
the
said,
Cowboys.
yeah.
The Cowboys
I said,
more
yeah,
recent.
dude. He goes,
Yeah.
then why are the Niners fans always talking shit? I said, you ever notice that they don't talk about Super Bowl? They talk about going to the Super Bowl. He's
'Cause
like,
we've been there plenty of
he's like,
times. Yeah.
yeah. I said, it's just because they go and they lose. He's
Yeah.
like, dang, I never noticed that.
yeah, there's
Your
So-
employees living under a rock, dude.
So
He's a
many
Patriots fan.
Oh, okay.
oh, all of a sudden they had a
He's a
bad
big-
year, huh?
But you want this guy? He's a Patriots fan, but he has a second team, and his second team's the Eagles.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
He's
The
one of
camera
those
turned on?
A
guys.
second team. No, it's the one?
Yeah. Hey, he's got a second team in basketball too. He's a Celtics fan, but he's got a second. I forgot who he told me who it was. And I was like, "Come, dude, no such thing." He's like, "Yeah, you're allowed to have second team."
Sounds like he's one of the guys that
And I
keeps
was like,
tweeting at OC.
Yeah, I said you're allowed to like other players. You're not allowed to like other teams.
All right. Any finishing thoughts before we close things out?
So all three of us got different Super Bowl winners, right?
I have the Ravens.
Yeah,
Niners,
OC's good. Yeah,
Cowboys.
OC's the
Look
only
at not
only,
biased,
only
not biased
non-biased
guy here.
He's the only one that's on the outside looking in.
Watch out.
Miami fans would be happy.
Or they're gonna be triggered. One of the two.
What do you mean we can't win the Super Bowl?
You were just defending the Tua last week.
You're just not gonna win with Miami fans, are you?
No.
No, never.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
It's funny though. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
But anything else before we go ahead and we close that out, man?
I don't think so. You got anything?
Shout out the GOAT, Nick Saban.
Oh yeah, Nick
Who
Saban
cares?
retired. Mm-hmm. What do you think happens with Pete Carroll? Do you think he keeps going?
Nah, the dude's like 80 years old. Just retire already. You've done it
He's
all.
close. He's 72.
Just retire. Just call it quits.
Go
Be
back,
like Nick Saban.
Go back to USC.
He looks like he's running around like crazy. He looks like he wants to keep going. I think he's gonna keep going.
What do you think he would go in the NFL, or you think he goes?
Could
back
you
to college?
imagine if
Go to Bama.
could you imagine Pete Carroll, Nick Saban, and Bill Belichick all just got on a staff together?
No way.
What? Who's gonna be in charge?
It's like watching. You remember that Tim Allen movie, Wild Hogs, when it's like a bunch of old guys that try to be young again? Yeah.
I mean, you got those three guys. Who puts their foot down and has the final say?
Bill.
He's done it at the highest possible level, dude. I mean, Nick Saban, did he ever win a Super Bowl?
No.
Every year
No,
that
right?
passes that Bill Belichick doesn't make a substantial move in the playoffs, I'm calling him a fraud.
Who, Bill Belichick?
Bill Belichick. Maybe not a fraud. Maybe rode the coattails of the GOAT.
I think he's just a relic of other time.
Yeah, maybe.
I think the game has just changed so much around him that he's just trying to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he's just been trying to do things the way he's always done it.
He's a
you know?
defensive mind in an offensive world.
Yeah, dude. He's got a pager when we all got cell phones, and he's all, it still works.
He's got an Android when we all have iPhones.
Yeah. I knew that was coming. Yeah. Not going to take the bait. All right.
Hey, German has an Android still.
I do have
That's
an
why he's
Android.
only one
What do you
group
mean
chat with us.
There's
Still.
Everybody
Still.
has. There's a lot more people who have Androids.
All
Yes,
the
given
people
they're
that
at
hang out
these
behind the
poor
science
countries, whatever.
All
There
the
are
weird
more
people.
third world people. Okay, that's fine. But I like my Android.
Android doesn't like you.
It's cheaper. It's way cheaper.
Oh, I don't speak cheap.
Okay. Just straighten out your back to me when you fucking talk shit, Drew.
Oh, you can't stay on topic. You got to revert to something
Yeah,
else. Come
dude.
on, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Come on.
I'm not gonna win arguments against iPhone people. You guys are just.
You're not.
You guys are just.
You just rather be
just like Cowboy fans.
You'd rather be inferior. That's crazy.
What are you talking about, inferior?
Inferior.
You can make the argument that. See, this is it. We're getting into it. I'm not gonna fall for the trap. All right, go ahead, and close it out.
All right, buddy. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe. Let me know how I did today, because you guys liked doing that in the last video.
Homer Drew.
Homer Drew. And then make sure you follow us on Twitter, because we're on Twitter now. German's running the account.
D.O.G. Sports,
He
dude.
and I have nothing to do with the account.
Check out those likes.
We're not liking nothing. We're not looking at nothing. It's that guy over there.
You guys are gonna like what you see. I guarantee it.
Men's Warehouse. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching.
All right, thanks. All right. You guys like what you see.